Hello and welcome. In recent discussions, including competitive Excel and eSports communities, there has been debate about whether Excel lambdas should be banned in competitions. My position is more nuanced. Lambdas are not the problem. The way we are forced to program them is the problem. Here we open the same pre-competition workbook we used in the last video. The real issue is with lambda programming. Let's be very clear. Lambda programming today is not democratic. Programming a lambda inside a cell is like programming in a postage stamp. Programming it through the name manager with no line breaks is even worse. That's like programming on a pinhead. I have great respect for people who can continuously track nested parentheses mentally while coding creatively. But that is not how most people program. It is not how programming is normally taught. Why banning lambda misses the point. Some argue that because lambdas give an edge, they should be banned. But here is my key observation. If lambdas can be mechanically converted to lets and lets are allowed, what is the real rationale for banning lambdas? Let me show that. Here we open a lambda from one of our data actions. If we look at this lambda, we can unpromote it and it becomes let. We can promote it and it becomes a lambda. They're basically the same. This is the same logic, the same computation, just expressed differently. So the issue is not capability, the issue is accessibility and tooling. This is where D4E comes in. D4E treats lambdas as not as cramped cell artifacts, but as first-class governed logic assets in here. We open a data action containing a lambda definition. Here, the data action becomes the source of truth. Name manager is no longer where logic lives. It becomes an instantiation, not the authority. So we store our lambdas here and we can manipulate them from here. So let's edit again this lambda. We have our lambda editor and we can see that instead of touching the cell or name manager, we open it in our lambda workbench or lambda editor. Now we can indent the logic, unpromote or promote or test, and here we can give our parameters. and we can click on test, and we have some results. Whereas if you were doing it in Excel, you would typically test it by putting values in a cell, hoping you didn't break something, and manually inspecting the results. Here, we can explicitly test the lambda with controlled inputs. This is not a small improvement. This is foundational. In regulated or collaborated environments, this matters even more. So, with D4E, lambdas are versioned as they are stored outside the cells. They can be reviewed like application logic, and they are auditable and explainable. This aligns Lambda with CPS 230, SOX, DORA-style governance, something native Excel does not address. Next, we have a chess analogy. I want to use an analogy from another field, chess. I competed internationally in chess. To me, Lambda programming today is like blindfold chess. Impressive, but not how most people should be expected to play. When a feature gives an advantage, but is usable only by a tiny elite, resistance is inevitable. This is the real ask to Microsoft. The answer is not banning lambdas. The answer is better tooling. Microsoft should provide a proper IDE for lambda development, allow external IDEs to hook into Excel like Visual Studio or Eclipse-style IDEs, eliminate postage stamp programming. Until then, tools like D4E show that lambdas can be democratized today. In closing, lambdas are the future of logic in Excel, but without proper tooling, they will remain powerful and divisive. D4E's goal is simple: turn lambdas from elite tricks into governed, collaborative, accessible assets. Thanks for watching.